Hey there, welcome. If you've ever wanted to build better, stronger English sentences, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to put together a powerful grammar toolkit. Think of it as a quick and powerful review of the absolute essentials you need to communicate with confidence.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How do you do it? But hey, don't worry, it's not about memorizing some giant, dusty book of rules. Not at all. It's really about understanding the core building blocks and seeing how they snap together, kind of like Legos. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the absolute foundation, the verb to be. Then we'll bring in our subjects, the people and things our sentences are about. After that, we'll get into the fun stuff, actions. We'll cover everyday routines and things that are happening right this second. And finally, we'll put the tenses side by side to see the difference, and we'll pack up your new toolkit. Ready to get started? Let's do it.
Every great building needs a solid foundation, right? Well, in English sentences, that foundation is so often the verb to be. It's how we talk about who we are, what something is, or where things are. It is absolutely essential.
So get this, the most common verb in the entire English language only has three little forms in the present tense: am, is, and are. Am is easy, it's always for I. Is for any single person or thing, so he, she, or it. And are is for you, we, they, and any other group. That's it. Pretty simple, right? Now, if you want to sound more natural and fluent when you speak, we use contractions all the time. So instead of saying I am happy, you'll almost always hear I'm happy. Instead of they are late, you'll hear they're late. It's just a faster, more efficient way to say the exact same thing.
Okay, this is one of my favorite tricks because it's so simple. Want to ask a question using to be? You don't need any extra words. You just swap the subject and the verb. A statement like, she is a student, becomes the question, is she a student? You just flip them. The pattern is always the same.
So we've got our foundational verb locked in. Now, let's add the subjects of our sentences, the who or the what that we're actually talking about.
Think of subject pronouns as your best friends for avoiding repetition. They're basically shortcuts. Instead of saying, John is a doctor and John works at the hospital, which sounds kind of clunky, we just say, John is a doctor and he works at the hospital. See? Much smoother. These are the doers of the action in the sentence.
Okay, so we know who is doing the action, but how do we talk about their stuff? That's where possessive adjectives come in. And what's great is that every subject pronoun has a matching one. So I have my dog. You love your mother. She works with her sister. They're all about showing ownership.
There's another way to show ownership, and you see it all the time. The good old apostrophe S, like in John's car or the company's logo. Now here's the one tricky part people often miss. For plural nouns that already end in S, like the girls, the apostrophe goes after the S, so it becomes the girls' books. All right, let's talk plurals for a second. The number one rule, the one you'll use 90% of the time, is just add an S. One book, two books. Simple. But here's a neat little tip. If a word ends in a kind of hissing sound, like S, sh, or X, we add ES to make it easier to say. Try saying bus. It's weird, right? That's why we say buses. It just flows better. And here are two more classic patterns you'll see everywhere once you start looking for them. For words that end in a consonant plus Y, like story, that Y changes to IEs, so stories. And for a lot of words that end in F, like wife, that F sound softens to a V sound, giving us wives. And of course, because it's English, we have the rule breakers, the rebels. We don't say mans or childs, we say men and children. A lot of these are actually really old words, like fossils from Old English that just never changed. They're special cases you just get the hang of with practice.
All right, the foundation's poured, we've got our subjects ready to go. Now, let's make them do something. It's time to add action verbs, the things we do every single day. And for that, we need the simple present tense.
Okay, listen up, because this is maybe the most important rule in this whole explainer. If you only remember one thing, make it this. For I, you, we, and they, the verb doesn't change. I work, you play. But for he, she, or it, what we call the third person singular, we always add that little s. He works. She plays. It eats. It's a tiny detail, but oh man, getting it right makes a massive difference.
So, simple present is perfect for habits, for stuff you do all the time. But what about what you're doing right this second? For that, we need to pull another tool out of our kit, Let's talk about the present continuous.
The formula for this one is actually super straightforward. You just need two parts. First, you take the right form of to be, which we already mastered, right? Am, is, or are. Then you just add your main verb with ing on the end. So I am talking, you are listening. It's all about an action that's happening right now.
Just a quick heads up on the spelling when you add that ing. If a verb ends with a silent E like in live, you drop that E before adding ing, so it becomes living. And for short verbs with that consonant-vowel-consonant pattern, like swim, you double that last letter, swimming.
Okay, so now we have these two awesome tools in our toolkit. Simple present for routines, present continuous for right now. The real magic happens when you know exactly which one to grab for the job. So let's put them side by side and see the difference clearly.
So here's the bottom line. Simple present, that's for permanent stuff, for habits, for things that are always true, like the sun rises in the east or I drink coffee every morning. Present continuous, that's for temporary stuff, for what's happening now or for a limited time, like it is raining outside or I'm working on a project this week. Permanent versus temporary, that's the key.
Oh, this sentence is just perfect. It nails the difference in one go. I listen to rock music every day. That's a habit, a routine, right? So we use simple present. But today, I'm listening to samba. That's a temporary action, something happening just now. So we use present continuous. This one example shows you the whole logic perfectly.
And there you have it. We've just put together the core of your sentence building machine. Let's do a final check on all the awesome tools we've packed into your new toolkit.
So let's review what's in your toolkit now. You've got the verb to be for talking about states and identity. You've got your subjects and possessives to say who did it and whose it is. You've got the simple present for habits and facts, and you'll never forget that S rule again. And you've got the present continuous for everything happening right now. You officially have the core tools to build amazing sentences.
So the only real question left is, what are you going to build with these tools? Remember, these aren't just grammar rules for a test. They're tools for connection, for conversation, for sharing your ideas with the world. So go out there and start building. That's all for now.